Hey there, my name is Pravus, welcome back to more Hearts of Iron 4. No step back playing as the Soviet Union. The UK attacked me very viciously, I'll have you know, and I'm a little bit peeved about it. So we're currently beating up the Allies, with the exception apparently of France and the Low Countries, since none of them want to get involved at all at the moment. The USA is the only one of the bunch that really scares me, that and the Royal Air Force and Navy, but you know, we'll see what happens with that. We definitely have a bug. Like a very legit bug, where our primary infantry artillery template is unable to strengthen. And I think I found the problem, or at least I figured out a way around it. It's just kind of bizarre that it's an issue. So take a look at this equipment right here. You see that it's kind of grayed out, suggesting that some equipment is allowable and some of it is not, which doesn't really make sense, but there you go. We click on this sucker and go to, let's say, artillery, and it's acting as if things like the advanced artillery are not allowed. I don't know why. So I'll click this off, then back on, and oh, lo and behold, now it's allowed. And by the way, my stats go up as a result because now we're allowed to use updated equipment. So for how long have I been running on fumes of these 2 rounds of artillery and whatever I captured? Probably longer than I should. We can do the same thing with things like artillery and, infantry equipment and stuff. Like, please, let me use the right equipment. Our tanks we're not allowed to use. Why? This is the thing that's not getting updated for some reason. It doesn't make sense. Here's the improved anti-air. We're not allowed to use the new stuff that I've been producing. Oh, look! Problem solved, right? Like, this is just... Why is this happening? Now, this might have something to do with, like, the way that they've been changing up, like, some tanks and stuff. I don't know, but, like, there we go. So we'll try fixing that. Let's see what happens with the strength in just a moment as we start getting our troops in position. We should start seeing that their equipment is going to get replenished. There's France. Hello! All right, hang on. With France involved, I can bring in Germany at any time and just go for it. We got nothing to worry about yet. Let's just keep focusing on these guys one at a time. Oh, look at that! They have strength again. So I've probably been fighting with a major handicap for a long time, and I had no idea until I saw that this was, in fact, a consistent issue across the board. So what's up with this, then? Well, at least okay, this is up to date. We're able to use the right infantry equipment, but the tanks are messed up. We're not allowed to use the latest tank divisions. Or whatever we capture, anyway. It's so weird. All right, well, this is all up to date. This is fine. It's not letting me use the latest tanks, but that's fine. I know that some people have been having some issues with, like, let's say, updating a tank design and then they're supposed to refit, but it's not doing it automatically the way it's supposed to. I know that's been a concern, but this doesn't appear to be that. I don't know. I don't know what the heck has been going on with that. By the way, we need to train up some additional units. Just 12 should be fine, and the reason being, a couple of my army generals over here, offensive generals, are now able to support even more units, so we might as well train them up and get that breakthrough up and running. So I think we're about to see that my stats have improved drastically. And these units, which were fighting at a pretty significant handicap, all of a sudden can actually do damage again. How exciting is that? Okay, Syria is now out. That's great. We lost a bit of ground over here because the UK came back into Lebanon, and all of a sudden I find that I'm able to do a lot more damage. Holy crap. Yeah, when you're heavily dependent upon artillery, it turns out it makes a huge difference if your artillery is actually, you know, in the field shooting at something. What a novel concept, right? I know. So I'm just kind of setting some general orders right now and just kind of letting them go. And for the most part, they're actually doing pretty well on their own. Not tons of reinforcements in the Balkans. Some, but I mean, again, like, once we're able to stack up this much infantry in a single army with only 18 combat width, it seems like we do some pretty solid and respectable damage across the board. The only thing I gotta worry about is make sure that I don't run out of anything in my logistics. If we start running out of something, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. Right now, we're in fine shape. Got nothing to worry about. As long as it stays that way, we're good to go. Remember, at any moment, I can go ahead and call in Germany and then make a sudden push across France, which, by the way, has 44% control of the communist popularity. So how are we looking as far as, like, destabilizing this country? I mean, we're working on it, but it's not getting very far. Yeah, they got 44% stability still. They're getting more. We've managed to reduce it by a little bit, but yeah, they're using things like improved worker conditions to try and offset the stability that I'm creating here. So, yeah, we're probably not going to get a civil war. Is fine. We can just abandon that idea. Let's instead start building up some spy networks in a few different places. Try to get that intel advantage going. Maybe we can get a collaboration government or something going in, let's say, the UK. That would make my life easier. We could do something similar here in France. In fact, yeah, let's prepare a collaboration government in France now, because we can wait as long as we dang well want in order to fight these guys. So if we want to wait for a couple years before we fight France, that's fine. In the meantime, it gives me plenty of time to go ahead and start working on getting spies in the UK, just to get that intel advantage and whatever else, while I clean everything up on the east and in Africa, which, by the way, we should probably consider training up some sort of division. I'm thinking what we want, probably, is going to be cavalry. Cavalry are fast, they don't take up a lot of supply, and Africa is notorious for having terrible supply. So this could end up being really good for me. I'm going to duplicate this. We'll get the engineers. I wouldn't mind getting some artillery for a little bit of stats. I think we'll get some logistics companies, believe it or not. And then we're going to toss in some cavalry here. At least 12 combat width for now. We might want more than that later, but I mean, this is something. This is pretty minor as far as supply usage. It'll be reasonably fast. Now, the only thing that's slowing me down... Well, I kind of figured that the artillery would be slowing me down. Really? The cavalry are slow? Since when? Well, I'm only going 6.4. We could, of course, toss on some tanks, but the problem is that greatly increases how much supply I'm going to consume, so I probably shouldn't do that. So, these will be Expeditionary Forces. And we'll go ahead and do that. Doink. And let's start training up some cheap cavalry, and I mean a lot of them. Let's see, we got some torpedo upgrades. Don't think I care too much about that. Better artillery is probably long overdue at this point. Yugoslavia is almost out. I don't see any reason why we can't just finish these guys off right now, so let's just go ahead and do exactly that. We managed to push out the rest of the Levant, so now all of these troops are going to be setting up around Cairo, of which we were able to encircle quite a few enemies, so that leaves pretty much only the UK here to defend across the Suez, which admittedly is not going to be a fun place to fight. As long as we don't call in Afghanistan or Iran, by the way, the only place that these guys are able to attack me from the British Raj is this tiny little area right over here, which so far, at least, is proving to be completely inconsequential. What I may want to do is take a kind of a breather after I'm done with this, kind of push around in Africa, but then, like, really start getting some supply networks up and running instead. Especially down here, like, toward India. Knocking out the Dominion of India would be a pretty significant blow to the UK and the rest of the Commonwealth. Look at the Americans, they just trickled in here, but there's not enough. Like, they're just not committing enough power in the right spots to actually be any sort of a threat to me. They got nothing. They've really got nothing here, don't they? Oh, there's an icon over here if you're losing trains to enemy logistics strikes. Oh, that's kind of nice. I mean, I'm glad that it's there. Not that it's not nice that I'm getting shot at, but I mean, it's nice to know that I'm okay on that front. We need to get rid of all of our aluminum imports and go for a bit of rubber instead. Thank you, Dutch East Indies. Please don't join the war. You've been a great trading partner so far. Okay, so how are we doing on trains? I mean, we are not making very many anymore, so that's a concern. I'm a little worried that we're getting, like, no anti-air. I'm starting to bleed in trucks, and we've captured tons of infantry equipment, so that's been nice. Yeah, we need to get a bit more consistent anti-air. Somehow I need... You know what? If they've lost most of their ground over here, what we can do is just go ahead and grab at least a few fighters. I have plenty in backup. I've been keeping most of my fighters locked up for fear that they're just going to blow everything to sky high. So we'll just go ahead and get, let's say, 400 over here and then do a couple of splits. So we have air wings of 100, since that's generally preferred. Smaller, of course, even then, if you have air wings and such. Standing by, you'll reinforce soon enough. Let's see, we just got some more construction speed. I kind of want to go ahead and get that growth back that we've lost with the streamlined line, even though this is technically a little cheaper, which is nice. That efficiency growth, to me, has always just been a little bit better. Then you split. There we go. And we're gonna go for some interception missions, just to get rid of some of their close air support if possible. So we'll run some missions over here. If we can knock out Yugoslavia, which is almost done, and then take out the Greek air bases, really where do they have to fight me from? Their air force will have to pull back. Then I can really start focusing my air force elsewhere, specifically over here to the west. Turkey just joined the Allies. Really? Okay, that's annoying. Let's just finish off this group, and we've got a whole bunch of troops that are freeing up right now to go and take care of them, so, like, that's not a big deal. It's just like, really? Was that really the wisest thing for you to do? Alrighty then, Turkey, it's time for you to die. What did we just get? We got the PC of mortar armaments. How close are we to finishing up the rest of these factories? By the time we are done with some of these factories, we should get a bunch of free ones from Tankograd. So let's go ahead and work on that. Next, with Turkey being a thing, they're trying to revive Syria, so now I've got to get back over here and do this all over again. And of course, Turkey's over here causing issues now. You guys are just so annoying, are you? But you're so proud of yourself. You're so proud of yourselves, aren't you? Alright, fine. Just go ahead and quickly, rapidly deploy some troops. As soon as we clear out the rest of Greece, which should be falling very soon, we'll have a new army, and we'll see if we can spearhead our way into Turkey and make them cry. How dare they think that they can get involved in my wars like that? How dare they? How dare they? I'm just saying. It's dumb play, Turkey. But alright, I guess you saw the writing on the wall. Once I was done with the Allies, you better believe I was coming for your chromium. And now Kurdistan has joined as well. Ah! This is the thing that I've always hated about fighting the Allies. Especially when they... What the frick is this? Especially when they do anything decolonial. This is just so many people to fight, you know? I mean, most of them are very strong, don't get me wrong, it's not like it matters, it's more just like, out of principle, could you all just, like, not? Thanks! The good news is, the Kurds don't really have a whole lot going for them, so if we can take this last victory point, I think they're done. Batman! Oh god, the Turks have Batman on their side, I'm screwed! Okay, let's see. I got the improved infantry equipment a little bit early, which means I just got a huge boost in soft attack, pretty much across the board. 5% for leg infantry, another 10% for motorized and mechanized. That's significant. We could start working on an upgrade to mechanized. I guess I'm still not doing really anything with my army experience, so if we want to have the upgrade and then try to make it cheaper, we certainly can. In the meantime, Istanbul did not have a whole lot left to defend it, so they are going to be taken down very rapidly. Let's just go ahead and send everything I got. We're going to commit to completely clearing out this area of the map before I bother going anywhere else. And then let's take a look at stuff like supply. So for the most part, supply's okay. It's down here by India and such that we're going to have some issues. So let's go to supply. There is a supply point over here in Kabul, but that's kind of it. So I guess something we should do is probably build out a railway to Kabul, like so. And we also should probably try to get some sort of a supply point over here. So let's try setting up one over like this direction. And then a new supply hub would be great. Just in case. Cracking into India probably won't be that hard, because unless the UK has left a lot of their armies over there, they won't have much. How's Japan doing? Japan is getting pushed out of China, so they're winning their war against Japan right now. Sort of. But they're not making a lot of progress. I've always been sort of surprised that the AI never really seems to try to land over in Siberia. Now, of course, because I said that, watch them try, but yeah. The AI, what they seem to do is prioritize keeping their best units in Europe or around home, and then they send like a lot of really cheap, weak units abroad where they expect there's gonna be low supply, like in Africa. So the fact that I'm using only a handful of really high-level units here probably means that I'm gonna be able to smash everything in my path, at least until I start running out of serious supply. We were running out of trucks entirely the more I was fighting up here in Turkey, so I'm really glad to see that that problem has been solved. That's good. For some reason, by the way, the accomplishing a high-yield propaganda poster now costs 480 political power to take. Jeez, dude, I'm not sure why it's suddenly so stinking expensive, but, I mean, there you go. Really cheap anti-air upgrades. Yeah, alright. We just finished upgrading the artillery the rest of the way. I don't see really much else we need to do over here. Getting rocket artillery, you know, it's not as good as artillery until it's been very sufficiently researched. Once you get very far down the upgrade tree for for rocket artillery, it ends up having a pretty reasonable amount of soft attack. But until then, yeah, not so much. We'll go ahead and just spend some political power building out a whole bunch of academies. This right here was, like, I mean, it was 300 political power, but that's another 6%. Research speed. Having all these puppets is great. I got a 50% bonus right now. We're researching really quick, probably faster than any of the allies could. We are still stealing more factories, which is good. You know something I'm going to want? Lots of naval bombers. I know I haven't really researched any upgrades there, but in lieu of having a proper fleet, if you can get any air superiority, naval bombers... That is a unbelievably good way of obliterating the Royal Navy, so I don't have to worry about the UK. Another thing we consider doing is, I mean, we had talked about doing some paratroopers. I mean, I think there's something to be said about trying that. Let's see. Try doing some armored recon just so I have a bit of armor for extra survivability, and then, yeah, what happens if we just toss on a whole bunch of paratroopers? Now, of course, we aren't going to be able to, send line artillery or anything, but that's probably fine. What do I think I would want? Something on the order of 20 combat width? Maybe 18? Yeah, I think 18 would be fine. So this is still able to land, right? Isn't there like an icon? Yes. Well, Special Forces... Okay, there, yes, it can be parachuted, okay. Just making sure by tossing on, like, you know, tanks, we can still drop out of a plane, which the answer is, yeah, we can. Alright, so now we have some paratrooper divisions, which I'll go ahead and also start training up. I don't know if we really have a lot of use for these, but if we can find a way to get the air superiority and use them, that's our key into the UK. Okay, Turkey is out. That clears up pretty much everything, with the exception, apparently, of some Americans who landed over here around Greece. Why is Greece not out of this yet? Again, exactly? I feel like they ought to be. I mean, we could always do a naval invasion of Crete, but, like... Come on. I shouldn't have to do that, right? Right. Let's see. We're about ready to begin, I think, our glorious assault over here to the west. I got factories coming in for days. I think we'll go ahead and start working on additional transport planes, since apparently I've only got 10. I have had factories working on that, I will have you know, for literally years. You're telling me I've got 10 transport planes? 10? Doesn't seem right. Blow the Suez Canal. Could do that. Would absolutely cripple the supplies going off to the east for the Allies, but I don't think I really want to do that. There's Greece down. Okay, and... Oh, gosh, dang it. Once again, now the Brits are invading me from Rhodes. Ah! I hate fighting the UK. I absolutely loathe fighting the UK. It's fine, we got plenty of troops, we're good to go. Alright, Tankograd, guess what? I just got a load of factories. No, that hasn't recalculated, right? It's acting as if I got none, and that literally cannot be correct. Hang on, we'll wait until the end of the day and let's see what happens with that. It's acting like I only got 11 factories. Unless, no, I don't think I had a bunch of others already queued up. 11 factories? That's not right. I was supposed to get a lot more than that. I'm a little confused, but alright. Another research slot is a thing we could start working toward, and I guess getting some extra entrenchment will certainly make my life easier in some ways. So, alright, we'll go for that. And looky, I got a whole bunch more motorized. Alright, guys, go to the front lines. So we have a fair amount of mechanized currently stashed up. Might be a good opportunity to go ahead and start doing some swaps. It'll take quite a few of these, unfortunately, since we have so many divisions, but by doing this, I mean, we're looking at, what, an extra 2% hardness value, which is okay. I mean, they'll have to have some hard attack to counter me. Get a smidge more armor. That piercing value will be nice in case we do run into some light tanks or something else similar. Defense, losing a tiny bit of breakthrough is no biggie. And mostly we gain some hard attack and stuff. I mean, I don't really see the mechanized as being all that crucial. It helps a little bit. But it's not super duper important to have this mechanized. Nonetheless, we can go ahead and do this, and we'll start gradually shifting the motorized out for some mechanized. And actually knowing that that's going to be the case, we can go ahead and pull back a little bit, probably, on my factory production for trucks, and we'll start tossing more into mechanized as we go. Alright, so we have another army arriving on the border over here. We don't have to go for France until February, for that's when we have the collaboration government. We have our first round of cavalry ready to go. So with these guys over Myan, what we do is we basically just say, kill everybody in sight! No, I mean, like, literally, just go kill absolutely everybody. We've got cavalry for a reason. Good cavalry, low supply, smash. That's what it means. I don't think these guys are even remotely prepared for the amount of firepower that I have set up on Western Italy. I don't think even remotely close. All right, let me just double check something. We have units set up over here. Yes, we do. Well, let's wait for the organization to get up just a smidge more. We're deploying a few troops over here because I also want to take down Corsica, because you just know all it takes is missing one little border of some tiny little minor puppet somewhere, and all of a sudden I've got a crisis back home and blah, blah, blah. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it at all. Hi, Orange. Just realized you have nothing to do. Tell you what, come over here. And maybe we can set up like a really tiny like invasion order or something, like a little naval invasion, like right there. Yeah? No, I don't really care. Just something. Get over here and take Cyprus away so I don't have to worry about that either. All right, that's full organization. Let's go for it. Call in Italy. And go. And you don't have any orders, do you? These infantry are actually pretty solid, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. Something like that'll be fine. Go. And you don't have any front offensive lines either. You're primarily gonna start pushing down towards Spain, I think, so let's do that too. Why are you not assigned? Do that. There we go. All right. All right. Go forth, my minions! Wow! Aw, Duchy Cindy's, really? Now we're not gonna have any trade partners. That sucks. All right, so now we actually have a bit of a crisis of rubber. We can trade with a lot of our other friends over here, and that solves the immediate problem, but that tells me the next round of research has got to be dedicated toward synthetics, so we can start producing rubber of our own. Oh, right, I forgot that I was also justifying against Sweden. Right, yes. Hi. Can we do a quick setup over here, please? Everyone go over here, please. We have another army somewhere that's not got anything to do, right? Yes, you, yeah, you have no idea what to do with yourself. Why don't you come over here? And I figured, I mean, we might as well actually kill Sweden now, because, like, what are they gonna do? Call in the Allies? As if that makes any difference at all. There's the Military Engineering University done, so I just got 5% maximum entrenchment. We could now get a bunch of free forts, which I don't care about. We can move industry around, don't care about that. Extra research slot, I care about that. Yeah. And sure enough, we are punching through the mountains over here without too much issue, heading right toward Marseille and Toulouse. All these troops together are doing their job. The only problem I'm running into right now is supply, as we capture supply hubs and have to start converting them over to my side. Looks like Lyon over here and Marseille are going to be my best options to try and snag a bit of extra supply. But all right. So it looks to me like we have managed to capture the entirety of this area. So aside from Cyprus down over here, which, I mean, I guess I can go ahead and take these... oh, hello. They've got navies. What do you know? We're going to do some convoy escort down in this area. We should just get some naval dominance, and we can just go ahead and try that out. Regardless, my thought is we can clear that out, and then we have literally nothing to worry about except for India, who is not a threat to me, at least not until I choose to make them one, thanks to the placement of my puppets. Africa, in which I'm currently just sending my troops, and I think we're dominating. And then France, who I don't have to fight until I call in Germany. And even when I do, I'll have a collaboration government, and, I mean, France is mostly communist anyway at this point, so, like, they're just waiting for me to jump in there and tell them what to do. They're so excited about it. The real question is how we're going to be doing on things like the air superiority front, and the answer is not very good, which is no surprise. I mean, so long as the US and the UK are involved, I don't expect to do very well. Let's send at least like 600 of you to help out with this. We'll have the close air support also go for logistics strike, and you'll attach here. And then the other 200 will do air superiority and attach to... I don't know. You guys, I guess. Let's just go ahead and stack up some extra. I have mostly a lot of fighters going wherever my close air support is. And I don't think this is going to be enough to actually get any air superiority over France, but it's certainly going to be enough to contest it. Well, there we go. Like that. So by contesting this over here, if we can get some logistics strikes going and the close air support, I imagine we'll be doing pretty darn well for ourselves. Now that said, it sure looks to me like they've got 2,000 fighters over here. Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing about going for air superiority against the UK. You kind of have to be building up your Air Force from the very beginning of the game, because they sure as heck will. And they're going to have something on the order of like 10,000 fighters by the time you're ready to fight them. That just is how it works. I've never seen it work any other way. Hi, Sweden! It's us! Did you miss me? I mean, yeah. Japanese, American, we'll just call you into both, I guess. Norway, join in on these, please. And off we go. Oh, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. The medicine go down. These guys stand absolutely no chance. So we'll get Sweden out of the way, so that'll be Scandinavia. We're pushing fairly well off in this direction. As long as we don't get too close into France, I don't mind. Still waiting on that collaboration government, which will be done as of February 9th. That's not half bad. We can handle that. More military factories? Yeah, but I don't have any more rubber. And there's not much else that I really care to be producing. I could start working on a new tank and say, hey, we've got all these extra factories. Let's start making new tanks and say, screw it. Who cares about industrial costs? But the problem is, we're only 1 year away from being able to research modern tanks. Why waste the research on more mediums and heavies when I know for a fact that modern tanks are going to be outstanding? So yeah, we're just going to wait until we can get modern tanks. And if we haven't won the war by then everyone be aware, because modern Soviet tanks going to go boom. All right, there goes southern France. Unsurprisingly, they did not have a lot of equipment to work with. Of course, now my front lines are all in disarray. As that is sort of what happens. We did just get an ace pilot. Unfortunately, it looks like we're only getting aces for close air support, which is a bit weird. You'd much rather have the fighters, if you possible. They just tend to be better because small wings of, I don't remember what the exact number is. It's like 20 or less or something like that. Tend to have huge combat bonuses. And the more fighters that the ace has to also keep in their wing, like the worse of a bonus you're going to get. We're really close now to finishing off with France, but we did just get that collaboration government. So what that means is we can just go ahead and begin this massive push. And the funny thing is, I still haven't had to call Germany in because we haven't needed it. Okay, there goes Sweden, by the way. Boom! All right, time to go ahead and start pulling some of these troops back home. Let them get down toward the Low Countries, then we'll go ahead and call in Germany, and we'll finish this off. Holy frick, we are doing well right now. And this is very hands-off right now, by the way. Very hands-off. The templates and the power of mass assault, with infantry being king and fitting extra into a combat with, is giving me such a ridiculous advantage right now. For real, I think mass assault at this stage of the game is really strong. Let's see, we can now get the upgraded mechanized. Let me just see, if we reduce your production cost by 6... We basically, as long as you spend all that XP, you really can reduce the cost by half. So instead of 5 industrial cost per mechanized, we'll be spending 6, and these are just objectively better. Of course, if we increase that reliability even more so, 84%, 198 XP, fine, fair enough. We can do that. So yeah, we're gonna have some ridiculously strong mechanized now. Of course, it's gonna take a while for me to get my efficiency back up, and amazingly, I'm actually out of steel. Not what I would have expected, but all right, we can import a fair chunk of that in there right now. Yeah, weird. And let's go ahead and get the Balkan Socialist Union to get me my rubber back up and running. So yeah, France is now just getting cleaned up, and once we've got France out of the way, then I can go ahead and start focusing my attention on reorganizing my front line. France is currently 85% of the way towards capitulation. This is good. If we can just get up toward things like Rennes and up into Brittany region and Brest, we'll be fine. Brest. Ridiculous French. All right, so, sorry, for some reason I'm feeling a little bit giddy and slightly drunk with power. I guess is the best way to describe this. I mean, holy crud, these guys are doing good. Yes, Belgium's now able to start bringing some folks in, I'm aware. And you know what? We also have a whole bunch of armies ready to go, so let's just go ahead and call these guys in now. Boom. All right, Germany's involved, which means we're open on the borders, which means now I can push to the Netherlands and we can crush everybody. Ah! Everyone die! Soviet strong! It's insane. Yeah, no, we've got practically no challenge left except for the US. The US is the only thing I'm genuinely scared of. I mean, the UK is going to be a pain, don't get me wrong, but I am genuinely scared of fighting the US. But we're about to have basically the entirety of Eurasia, well, not Eurasia, but you know what I mean, Europe, plus like the Middle East and a lot of Africa under my control. We're not fighting anyone in Eurasia, or Asia, brain. I'm kind of weirded out by the fact that we still haven't had to fight Japan, like, at all. Nothing has been happening with Japan, by the way. Like, there's been zero movement against them or the Allies. Like, something's up there, and they've made no progress in China. I don't know, is Japan, like, horribly nerfed in this latest version of the game? Are they just stupid and unable to do basic things? I mean, that could very well be. Hey, look, there's, like, no organization. Please, push along the railroads, ASAP. Don't let the Americans bully you. Prevent them from... excuse me, getting any supply, blah, blah, blah. Go, go, go. Get them all. There we go. Netherlands capitulates. I wasn't even paying attention to that, so that's gone. Belgium capitulates. There go the Low Countries. Oh, this is fun. All right, so let's just make sure we take out all of the ports. Let's make sure we clear all this nonsense up. Don't let them have any way to get any additional supply or land more troops. Then we got to go deal with nationalist Spain, which... they're part of the Japanese coast prosperity sphere, so there's not even a lot that I can do against them right now anyway. And I'm in a bizarre position over here, I just realized. Hello. Why have we lost a lot of our troops down over here? We've lost... I don't know. Well, pretty soon we're going to finish up a whole new round of cavalry, and we'll be able to send them down here instead. But for some reason, we're training our troops, like, really slowly. Either that or the game is just genuinely taking that long for anything exciting to happen. I am researching an upgrade for my fighters, because I think that's going to be absolutely key. We could go for upgrades for naval bombers. I think instead I would prefer to go ahead and start working on nuclear tech. Because there's a decision over here that I saw all the way down here. Gosh, we're fighting so many nations. Isn't that scary? Race for the bomb. There it is. So no bombs have dropped yet. Basically, we just get a nuclear research speed plus 15% and nuclear reactor construction speed. Seems like this is something that the Soviets and the US get to have fun with. And trust me, getting some nukes involved, that would also be a great way to deal with the UK problem, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of exciting. All right, so that's all taken care of. Boom, bye. And now we just clean up the rest of France. France, who, by the way, still has not capitulated. The frickin' heck, dude. Get up here to Brest. Come on. There they go. Bye, France. Oh, and with the collaboration government, of course, that just means that we're going to be doing just fine and dandy over there. So that clears all this mess up. That leaves basically just the UK and the US left. Everything else, as annoying as this all is going to be, completely manageable. Absolutely completely manageable. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.